Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter and welcome to a weekly episode. It is episode number 298 and it is February the 11th, 2025. Hope everybody has been having a good week so far and it's only going to get better. So let's take a look at what I have been working on. And this little guy you've seen before, I really think he's cute. And of course he's a gnome, so you know me and gnomes. But he's great for Valentine's Day, but I have him up on my cupboards over top of my 3D printing farm, and he's going to stay there all year. And I'm about to make a companion for him. But before I do that, I just want to let you know that this is an In the Hoop project. Excuse me. You use your embroidery machine for him. They're very, very easy to do, but the end result is very, very nice, as you can see. And they're pretty easy to do. They take a little bit of time, but not a lot of time. So if you're looking for a unique gift for someone at Valentine's or another time of the year, or just, you know, be great in a kid's room as well. Great little baby gift, shower gift kind of a thing for a mother-to-be. You could even put the name of the baby on it, on the hat or wherever, with your embroidery machine. I think this would make a very unique gift. But they're fun to do, as I said, and if you are interested in this particular one, I got it from Designs by Juju, and I have put the link in it for this particular one, show notes below, and I believe it is still on sale this month for half price, which makes it an even better project to do because it doesn't cost a lot of money. Okay, that's one thing, and I am redoing the cornered stars pattern. It's my own pattern, and you will notice that up here with the yellow box, I have corrected my mistake. Now, why am I doing a whole new quilt? Why not just rip out the mistake? Because there are 4 corners, there are 3 blocks. Every one of these blocks had the mistake in it, and I'd already put the borders on as well. So it would have meant I would have had to take 2 borders off. I would have had to I would have had to get at the piece, because the piece was in this little corner down here. I would have had to have ripped out rows and then these individual blocks. By the time I got that all done, got the problem corrected, got it all sewn back together, I could make another quilt. And that's what I'm choosing to do. I'm making another quilt. Now, if you look at this one carefully, these aren't sewn together yet. I'm still working on the blocks. But in the dead center, I have one of the star blocks. But one of these things doesn't belong. And it's this star block in the center. If you look, it is not the same as these other star blocks. In total, this will have 8, well, counting this one, 9 of these star blocks. Now, I realized that all I did was I had turned the half square triangles on the inside of this block the wrong way, and it created this. And it looks like, but it's not quite, a Lemoyne star. And at first, I took it out, and I put one of these stars back in its place, and I put this one in my orphan block bin. Yeah, I have an orphan block bin, doesn't everybody? And but then I got thinking about it, and I think one of my subscribers mentioned to me they thought that that might be nice to have in the center of the quilt, because your eye would go to it and then branch out to the other parts of the quilt. And I got thinking about that, and I thought, well, yeah, that would be cool. The only problem here is it means I have to add another set of instructions to my pattern to tell people how to make this. And I started to do that. But then I got looking at it as I was working on the rest of the quilt, and I thought, you know, people are not going to see it that way, that was purposely put there. They're going to look at it, compare it to the other star blocks that are in the same color scheme, and they're going to say, there's a mistake. So that would defeat the purpose that this subscriber had suggested. Now, I did think of a way around that. I do like this star block, this particular shape. I could do it in a different color. I thought, well, I could do it in the yellows that I'm using, yellows and the oranges, and that would make it pop right out the center. But then I thought, no, then it may be too distracting in the quilt. Because yes, your eyes certainly would go to the center of the quilt then, but it might look out of place. Then I thought, well, maybe I could do it in a combination of some of the other colors I used, and that's a possibility too. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, this is making my pattern more complex. And I don't want the pattern to be complex. I want it to look complex when it's done, but I want it to be simple to do. So I have decided, no, I am not adding that. Now, I might make a quilt with this design in it down the road, but right now, no, I'm going to stick to the blocks up here with the windmill in the center, and they will all be the same. So anyways, yeah, this is what happens, I am finding, when you write patterns. As you go along, you think of other ideas, and that's where I think you can really mess yourself up as a quilt writer or as a quilt pattern writer. So yeah, I am not going to do that, but I'm going to save this for a future project. Okay, so do I have anything else there? No, I do not. So let's see, that takes me to what's happening and what's up with everything in my life. Well, of course, sewing with Stephanie and Stephen this coming Wednesday, as every Wednesday. Starts at 9 a.m. and we end around 4 p.m. All are welcome to join us. Links in the show notes. It is a Zoom. I've already noticed this morning, a couple of people have been trying to get into it already. This is Tuesday. It happens on Wednesday. They may be just testing out the link to see if it works or not. But you see, I know that you tried it because I get an email from Zoom telling me somebody was trying to get into one of my scheduled Zoom meetings. And it's not a problem or anything like that. I'm just hoping you're aware that you're on the wrong day and the wrong time too. But anyways, it's Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. That's important, Eastern Time, because I know some of you are in different time zones, and it does get a little confusing. So, go to Google, check what time it is in your time zone when it's 9 o'clock in Eastern Time Zone here in North America. And there's that thumb. Yep. I wonder if this will work. No. Get nothing from that. Anyways, I stopped. I'm digressing. Stop that. So, Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Eastern. Down below. Link. Okay. Pop-up sew day. We had one. Yeah, on Saturday. It was fun. Walter was off into his in-person sew day, and he's working on another shirt. And I think this one's for him. He makes a lot for me. So, yes, I could make my own shirts, but why when I have a tailor? Well, I don't know if I could make my own shirts on my own. I mean, I made the one, and that was with lots of guidance from Walter. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever do that on my own or not. But anyways, as I was saying, he was off to his personal sew day with his garment making friends, and they were doubled in number from other times. I think there were 8 of them. Yeah, usually there's only about 4. So that was a good thing. He had some new people there. He helped out a couple of ladies with their serger. The serger was not serging. The thread wasn't going through it properly. Walter took a look at it, and he discovered that it had the thread wasn't going through the tension discs properly. And also the machine was filthy. And he did mention to him, I said to him, did you tell him the machine is filthy? And he says, oh yeah. So you've got to clean the machine out regularly, because one of the reasons that the thread was probably not passing through the tension discs properly may have been that there was a little piece of thread or fuzz or dust caught in between those 2 little discs, and that was preventing the thread from getting right in there where it was supposed to go. So it's important you keep your machine clean for optimum operation and minimal headaches. So he helped them out, and they were very happy. And well, I think he had a good day there. They kicked them out a little bit earlier than usual because they were doing drag queen bingo. Yeah, where they meet is in our local gay club. So yeah, drag queens had to get set up for their bingo. So anyways, on my pop-up sew day, I think at the height of it we had 31. That was great. And again, the pop-up sew days are very informal. You're never know when I'm going to have the next one, because because I don't announce them usually too far in advance, although I have been changing that lately, because when I know that Walter has a sew day, I have a pop-up sew day. There's not going to be another one this month, but I think the next one is going to be on Saturday, March the 8th. So mark your calendar if you're interested for that. You will be notified here on the channel about the week before when I make a firm decision. But right now it's pretty much firm that it will be March the 8th. So watch for confirmation of that soon. And as I said, all are welcome. It's a come and go. I open the doors at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and we usually finish around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. But you don't have to be there for the whole thing. You don't have to come right at 8 o'clock. You can come for an hour, 2 hours, the whole day, whatever floats your boat, and work on whatever you want to work on. So, yeah. So March the 8th, pencil that in. Now, great news. I mentioned this before. I had one of my patterns published. Actually, my very first pattern was published, and some of you remember that one. And it is still available for anybody who wants it free. There's a link in the show notes below. It's on my Google Drive, and it's absolutely free. It's called When Stars Collide. And I'm still not sure to this date how it was that this particular magazine got a hold of my pattern and asked me if they could publish it and the whole bit. Now, the thing is, this magazine is a proprietary magazine, meaning you can't buy it on the newsstands. It is the Canadian Quilter magazine, and this magazine comes out from the Canadian Quilters Association, which I am a member of. In order to get this magazine, you have to be a member of the Canadian Quilter Association. But I can show you what it's going to look like, because they do two versions of the magazine. They do a print copy, which they send out to their members, and they do a digital copy as well. And right now I have the link, and I'm going to show it to you, for the digital copy. Unfortunately, because unless you're a member, I cannot give you this link so you can check it out yourself. But I'm going to show you what my article looks like. So this is the cover of the magazine. They're going to send me a copy of it as well. Plus, I already subscribe. I'm already a member of the Canadian Quilters Association, so I don't know if that means I'm going to get two of them or what. But this is what the cover looks like. And let's just go down to where the article is. And there's my article. And I can blow this up for you. There we go. And that's what my article looks like in the magazine. Picture of my quilt. And you see that it is a scrappy quilt for any of you that have seen this pattern before. And the instructions are all here for making it. Yeah, it doesn't take up a lot of space, but it is professionally published. And at the very bottom in the little box down here, it says, find Stephen Bland on YouTube at The Idiot Quilter for weekly inspiration and lots of great chats about quilting. So that's the only blurb I get about who I am, but I'm thrilled. I'm in a magazine. So yeah, but as I said, this is available to you free. It's in the show notes. And there's another pattern there as well. It's my second pattern. And the one I just showed you that I call Cornered Stars, that's going to be my third pattern. And they will always be free and available for you on here on YouTube. I'm not selling my patterns. Okay. I could maybe, but no. Don't need to. They're there for you. They're free. And also, if you find a mistake in it, you might be a little kinder as opposed to if you had to pay for the pattern. I have ulterior motives. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's thrill of my life. I'm published in a magazine. The only thing greater than that would be if I'm published in a magazine that anybody could get off a newsstand. That would be even more cool. But I'm not pursuing that, okay? This was just a very serendipitous kind of thing that happened. Okay, so moving down now to So Chatty in the past week. Well, we're going to start a new series, but I needed a little bit of a, let's just call it a filler, between our last series where we did the kindred creatures, the wall hanging, Walter and I did, and our next series is going to be on bag making. And we don't know exactly where that's going to go, because we're going to look at bag making from a lot of different points of view. So this could be a series that could go on for quite some time. We're going to start with doing a project, an In the Hoop project. It is a bag by Sweet Pea. But before I start talking about that, just to let you know that the little filler that's in there, what we did last week, was a video showing you how to do the Valentine's gnome that I just showed you at the beginning of today's show. So if you've not sure about how you do something like that, then the So Chatty video last week was all about that. So if you didn't see it, there's a link to it in the show notes below as well. Now, having said that, let us go over to, let me just get things up here on the screen. Okay, just bear with me for a second. There we go. Okay. So this is the bag we're going to start with. As I said, it's from Sweet Pea. It comes in 3 different sizes. We'll be doing the largest size, and it is a quilted bag. It's called the Quilted Patchwork Handbag. And I have put the link to this file in the show notes below. Sweet Pea is located in Australia, and this is in Canadian dollars, $18.19. Someone looked it up for me and said that it's about $13.99 or something like that American for the pattern. Oftentimes they're on sale. I think this isn't on sale, but I think I did get it on sale at one point in time. I've had this pattern for some time now. But you can see it makes this very nicely quilted bag. It's all done in the hoop. It's done in 3 panels for the front, 3 panels for the back. And you sew them together. Yes, you do have to do some sewing on your domestic sewing machine, but it's very, very easy. And if you saw the series we did on the kindred creatures wall hanging, it's the same method as that. You will add a bottom. Now, we have ordered some faux leather for the bottom for this bag from Emmeline Bags, and it's supposed to arrive on Friday. And I also ordered some stuff. Let me grab it to show you here. So I looked on Amazon to see what I could get there in terms of faux leather. Well, they didn't have much to choose from, and some of the stuff I saw was a little bit iffy. I don't want to use real leather for obvious reasons. But I did find this cork. Now, they're calling it cork, and it's pretty, and it came in a piece that would be big enough. It was about $20 for this. However, that's what they say is this is printed on kind of a canvas, so it's faux cork. It's not real cork. And you can see through, the light's not shining. I don't know if I can get the light to shine through it. But you can see through it. There's little pinprick holes on here. And it's very flimsy. And I have felt real cork before, and it's much thicker than this. So no, I am not going to use this in this project. We've ordered better stuff from Emmeline Bags. But, you know, I thought I'd just try this, order it to see. There's quite a bit of it here. I think there was 1.6 yards, they said. I don't know what I'll do with it, if anything. They actually call it colorful premium vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl store apply. I don't know why that's strapped up. Maybe that's what they also make. Oh, no. This craft go to cut, it's called. Raw materials for handicrafts. They call it a faux leather store, retro cork ribbon, 10-piece combination. Yeah. I don't know. It's very thin, but it'd be okay for other craft projects, but I don't think it would be right for a bag. So anyways, live and learn. I mean, I anticipated that was not going to be the right stuff, but I thought I'd try it anyways. But anyways, we have the right stuff coming on Friday. So we will be starting our series this coming Friday, as I've said, and we're going to start with going through the pattern and explaining what it's asking you to do. Thing about Sweet Pea is they don't use a lot of extra materials like OESD does. OESD is overkill, and if you saw Kindred Creatures again, we went over the pattern at the beginning of that series and said what you didn't really need. OESD is basically trying to sell you product that they have that is kind of on the pricey side and way too much of it. You don't need any of that. So if you saw that series, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to do the same thing with this, but I think they only call for maybe 2 products, and I think we can limit that to 1 product. Besides, and I'm talking stabilizers here. So yeah, that's what we're going to start with, and we're going to show you the fabrics that we've picked out. I don't know what Walter's picked out. He doesn't know what I've picked out yet. We haven't revealed those to each other because we're not trying to taint each other's decisions. And we'll go from there. Now, Walter has never done an in the hoop bag before, so this will be his first time. I've done them quite a few times, and I like doing them, and they're fun, and you get a great product at the end. And in some ways, doing them in the hoop is a little better than doing the more conventional type of tote bag that you would just, take your fabric, sew the pieces together, because you can do so much more with your embroidery machine, as you can see in this picture. All of that decorative stitching that's on there, all done by the embroidery machine. So yeah, that's what our next series is going to be about. So as I said, this week, materials and pattern. Week after that, we'll actually start the creation of the panels in the hoop. Okay, so also I wanted to mention, because I told you about the Valentine's gnome. Well, here's his companion piece. This is the In the Hoop St. Patrick's Day gnome wall hanging from Designs by Juju. The link for this is also in the show notes, and you can see it is on sale, $8.50, half price. I don't know how long that sale's on for. They have sales all the time, though, so, if you're not in the mood to purchase something like this now, down the road, you'll probably get it on a good price later, too. But, yeah, and this one I'll probably do it as a very quick video that we'll put up maybe as a break from the bag making at some point in time. But he's going to look quite nice next to his brother with the Valentine. Okay, so that takes me to subscribers quilt of the week. This comes from Lana Warner, and she has shown us some of her beautiful creations before, and here's another one. This week's quilt creation is actually a table runner, and a very unique one, and it comes from Lana Warner. And Lana writes, I made 5 of these before Christmas with a 10-degree ruler. 2 were given away. If no one sends you anything else, I can send other pics later. Okay, so this looks wonderful. I made something like this back some time ago, and they're not as hard to make as they look, but the end result is really worth the effort you put into it. And these are stunning. And I am sure that whoever received these as a gift were really pleased with them. And you can do them for any season of the year, depending on the fabric that you use. I see that there's one that's got, a couple of them that are kind of Christmassy. And actually, even the one at the bottom of the screen is kind of Christmassy too. But, that could work throughout the whole of the winter season. Or if you did it in bright spring colors or fall colors, either way, I think they'd be stunning. And I think they would look really great if you have a big dining room table with 2 of them at either end of the table, or, kind of on a diagonal, that kind of thing. I think that they're very versatile, very unique. And Lana, you did a wonderful job, and thank you so much for sharing them with us. And of course, as always, if you would like me to feature one of your lovely creations here on The Idiot Quilter, then please just send me one picture of it and a little blurb, 50 words or less, um, and I'll be happy to show it on a future episode. Okay, YouTube of the week. All right, there's been a whole lot of hubbub these days about AI taking over the world of uh, digital, creative, computer, web pages, whatever. AI is here to stay. It's in our life, it's in our appliances and everywhere. And it's also in quilting as well. So this week I take a look at A Quilting Life. I have looked at their videos before. I quite enjoy their videos. And in one part of their video, they do talk about AI and the future of quilting and how quilting has changed over the last, well, since the beginning of this century. So here's my review of that uh, YouTube video. This week's YouTube video of the week, it comes from A Quilting Life, and I have watched them for many years now and always find their broadcasts very interesting. This is with Sherry and Chelsea, mother-daughter team. And if you've never checked out A Quilting Life, you should, because it is filled with all kinds of interesting information and quilt-alongs and patterns. They design patterns, they design fabric. But in this particular episode, they talk about their goals for 2025, but even more importantly, they talk about advancements made in quilting over the last 25 years. And they also predict what quilting might look like in 20 years from today. And as you know, AI is the big thing right now. It's in every aspect of our internet lives, and quilting, it hasn't been spared from that either. So they do talk about AI in quilting and what that might do to our whole procedure for making our quilts, or for finding ideas, or for designing, all of that kind of thing. So if you're interested in the technological part of quilting, then I think you'll enjoy this particular episode of A Quilting Life. Okay, so future projects. Well, I showed you a kit the other week from Primitive Gatherings of a quilt. And I got that pattern and that kit free at Stephanie's retreat in December in Dahlonega. It was on the takeaway table, and I was a greedy little boy because there was another takeaway there that I could have. Nobody else seemed to want it, so I took it, which was for a table runner called Blizzard. This week's future project is another one that I picked up on the takeaway table at Stephanie's retreat in Dahlonega around Christmas time, and it is called Blizzard, and it's a table runner, and it's a kit. It came with the fabrics that I need for this. They're all charm. It's a charm pack. And I think you probably have to add the background fabric to it, but that's no problem. But I think it's kind of cute. It's meant to be Christmassy, I think, or wintry, but it looks pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do, and might make a really nice gift, a quick one if you needed a hostess gift. It is by, as I said, Primitive Gatherings, and it is available, and I've put the link in the show notes below. But yeah, I think it's really kind of a neat little quickie project, you know, a palette cleanser, as I call them. So that's Blizzard by Primitive Gatherings. Must get around to it someday. So those are sitting on my project table, which you're going to get to see again in a moment on what I'm working on. So here's my weekly little compilation of what I achieved last week or didn't get done last week. Well, this week I've been working on this, that, and the other thing. A lot of it has to do with 3D printing. Of course, I think I showed this last week. I got my little project corner, I guess that's what I'm going to call it now, all organized and everything. This is what we're going to be starting on So Chatty very soon, the Sweet Pea Quilted Patchwork bag, and I've picked out my fabrics for all of this. So that's all there. And there's other projects in here to get to at some point in time. On my design wall, I have partially done, well, the blocks anyways, for my redo of the pattern I created, where I made the big mistake on the corner blocks on these ones up here. I had this one little piece flipped and it looked like a sailboat. So rather than try and pull that piece out because the top is done, I have decided to redo this, and I'm doing it in a different color scheme. I kept the same colors in the corners, but I'm doing it in a slightly different color scheme down here, as you can see, and mainly because I didn't have any more of that other fabric that I did it originally in, but that's okay. What else have I been up to? Well, I've been playing with the bamboo printer, and I love this thing. I really do love it. And I made this that sits on top. It is a riser for the AMS. This, with all the reels of filament in it, is called an AMS, Automatic Materials System. And that's the thing that switches the colors when you're doing your prints automatically. So I made this. This was a huge print, a lot of pieces to it, but it turned out really great. And you may wonder why I made this. I made it because I want to be able to take the glass top that usually sits here and be able to, this is a storage for it, and you just leave it in there, because certain filaments that you're printing with, too much heat builds up inside the chamber, and that can cause you some problems. And so this is a neat print. I had a little problem gluing it together because there were pieces that need to be glued down here, but they seem to be holding okay now. Gluing filament, PLA, that's what the filament is called, is very difficult, finding something that will bond to it. I just ordered some stuff from Amazon to try out, an epoxy, and we'll see how that works out on future prints. But anyways, I did get it all to stick, and it's on here. Here's what it looks like from the side. It's vented, and yeah. I had to fix one of the printers this week. This one, the automatic bed leveling system wasn't working properly, so I had to replace a part. That was actually very easy to do. I was surprised at that. And I've been working on, as you saw, donations for the library at the moment, but this is sort of my inventory of things, and I have a couple of cupboards of these, and some of them are labeled. I have room for future expansion. So I'm trying to stock up on some of the things that I think are, would be very popular to give out to wherever. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on with the 3D printers. And I bought more bamboo filament. The company that makes my Bamboo Labs is the name of the company that makes the printer, the X1 Carbon. And these are all bamboo filaments. And I'm loving the bamboo filaments for a couple of reasons. I'm finding that they actually are reasonably priced. Delivery is very good directly from the company itself, and they're good filaments. So yeah, what else? Well, I'm going to be working on getting some quilts quilted. I have a few tops to get done, and hopefully I'll have them done by the end of this week. We'll see. And of course, you can see my menagerie of 3D prints here. I cleared out some of these. Some of these went to the library, but I still have lots more here. So yeah, still looking for, if you've got suggestions of where I could get rid of some of my 3D prints, don't say schools, because you know that I've had a bad experience with that. But anyways, yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. So that takes me to online quilt stores, and this week there's one from out in the western part of Canada, Alberta, I believe. I think it's in Alberta. Yes, I think it is. And it's called Quilter's Quarters. This week's online quilt store comes from Alberta, and it's called Quilter's Quarters. And this is their homepage, as you can see, and their shop looks like it's really, really lovely with their display of quilts that are in it, according to those pictures. Let me just find my cursor here so we can go down the page. They say, we are so pleased to offer a full brick and mortar store and a secure online store. They're in Edson, Alberta, and they converted a small house directly on the Yellowhead Highway. It's conveniently located, halfway point between Edmonton and Jasper. And they've been doing this since about 2003, so they've been around for a while. So they show some of their featured products. They have a map. They have their contact information all on their front page. They also list their fabrics too on the front page. But let's go up to their main menu at the top here and click on fabrics and see what they have to offer. Okay, it doesn't look like they have a sidebar for finding anything, so you have to basically go through what they have here. Okay, well, there's nothing about designers or companies, so let's click on basics and see what they've got. Okay, they've got Abandoned by Tim Holtz, Brooklyn Plaid, Toscana, which is Northcott. Um, it looks like these may be in alphabetical order, but it means you need to know the actual name of a particular fabric line. Otherwise, you're going to be just browsing through this, and they have about 10 pages of fabric, and they show 40 at a shot. Price wise, looks like everything ranges except for your basic blenders. Uh, well, 1989, and I would assume that's a meter. But they do have some at 16.29, 12.99 for solids. So it looks like their prices range between 12.99 and 19.99, which is okay pricing. Selection wise, just looking at this quickly, I'm not seeing anything that's grabbing me. A lot of this is pretty safe fabric. What I mean by that is, you know, it's the standard kind of stuff. Yeah, nothing here that's really getting me all excited. I mean, price-wise, okay, but selection-wise, pretty basic selection of fabrics. And I've noticed here some that are been around for a while as well. So not a lot of new stuff I'm seeing here. Now, it could be buried in on amongst all of this, and it looks like they have about 388 total. So yeah, let's go back into the fabric category. They do have batiks. What are they selling those for? 1959, 1799, 2250. The batiks are a little bit more on the high end, and they don't really have a lot to choose from. They've got a kit. It is a kit, isn't it? Yep, that's the kit, a kit, which is kind of a nice kit, but expensive. It's big. It's 108 by 108, $450 Canadian for that. They've got some pre-cuts too, but really their selection of batiks are not wonderful. It's very limited by the looks of things. And as I said, the price is kind of on the more of the high end of the scale, although batiks do tend to be at times. Okay, what else is in fabrics? Minky and Fireside extra wide. So what are they for wide backing? $34.90 a meter. That's pricey. And they have some pre-cut cuddle for $105, 3-yard cuts. They have 80-inch wide Fireside at $30 a meter. Yeah, it again, they're playing it very safe here. These patterns right here, the Fit for the Queen ones, I've had those before. I do like Fit for a Queen ones, but the patterns are pretty basic, and they have 2 pages of these. So really, you know, it's there, it's okay. Price-wise, well, some of it's a little bit, oh, but it's cuddle. That's a little cheaper. So really the price for their wide backs is not what I would say something that makes me get really excited either. Okay, anything else in fabric we should look at? Well, they have panels, they have flannel, they have print. Oh, here's the prints. Okay. I was in basics before, so maybe there's more of a selection here. Well, there's 39 pages of it. And they look like they range from $15.99 to $19.99 a meter. Okay, there's more of a selection here. Again, though, it's all in alphabetical order. Not the best way to find fabric quick. If you like browsing, no problem. Yeah, they've got, okay, they do have a little better selection in here. I didn't see that part before, so yeah, I take what I said about that back. It looks like though that they have like kits thrown in with the fabric as well. So do they have a separate category for that kind of thing? Solids, themes. Okay, and then they have stuff by themes. Okay, I'm not impressed by the layout of the website. A lot of hunting in here. If you like to hunt, you'll love that. All right, well, let's go to pre-cuts and see what we're doing. We've got fat quarters, jelly rolls, and layer cakes. And then they have this listed here. Prices. Prices are about what you'd expect on pre-cuts. But here again, we've got pattern books thrown in with them. Now, maybe they're doing that because they're related to the fabric, because this is a layer cake recipe book. So that's for, layer cakes, that kind of thing. So maybe that's what the philosophy is behind that. 2 pages. Yeah, again, this stuff I've seen a lot before, and a lot of it is kind of older things. Let's take a look at their fat quarter bundles. Yeah, that's all still part of the ones we saw below as well. Okay. Yeah, it's there. I'm sorry. I can't think of anything else to say about that. All right, well, what they got under specials? Oh, wait, yeah, it's loading. This is stuff that's on sale, and it's loading, and it's still loading, and it's still loading. I'm having a coffee while it's loading. Okay, I have a feeling this link does not work, so there's maybe nothing on sale right now. Okay, let's take a look at free patterns. And we don't have any free patterns. I really don't like it when a website has a category and there's nothing in that category and no indication that there is going to be anything in it later. So I don't like that. So I'm going to take a point off for that. Okay, let's look under the regular patterns. Some books. Again, these are ones that have been around for quite a while. And they have a lot of pages of them, but yeah. Again, I don't know. The content on this online store needs some refreshing, I think. It just looks like it's a whole lot of, quite frankly, old stuff. That's the impression I'm getting from it anyways. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's the impression I'm getting. Store policies. Do we have anything about shipping? Shipping. Yes. It'll be processed in 1 to 2 days, and it's by Canada Post. And they have a conversion chart for yards to meters. Okay. They say they sell in metric measurements. Okay, but they're giving you a guide here to how much that is if you order partial meters of it. There's no indication here as to what it's going to cost you for shipping. So I would assume that it will, whatever Canada Post costs. I'll do an experiment here and I'll report back in a second about that. So I just put in a dummy order to see what the shipping would be all about, and it's as I suspect it is, whatever Canada Post charges. There isn't any flat rate. For 4 meters of fabric, it was going to cost me about $28 for shipping. So basically, you're at the whim of whatever Canada Post charges, and that would depend on how much you buy and where you live in Canada as well for the shipping. And as far as American shipping is concerned, I didn't see anything that said anything about that. So maybe you have to contact them if you want something shipped to the United States. Okay, so I think I've looked at everything that's here. They don't seem to have any classes either, or anything. At least they don't list them here. Maybe their store, if you went to their actual store, would have a, you know, more things to choose from. Selection isn't bad. Prices are okay. Shipping's a little high. As I said at the Whim of Canada Post, I do not like the overall layout of the website for finding things. If you're in a hurry, this is not the online to go to, because you're going to find yourself doing a lot of browsing. So overall, I'm going to give Quilter's Quarters a 6 out of 10. 6 to 6.5 out of 10. And but if you're in Alberta, this may be a go-to place for you. So that's Quilter's Quarters. Okay, so that brings me pretty much to the end of the episode, except just a little quickie update about my spring retreat. It takes place on April the 26th, Saturday, April the 26th. Details about that will come out in another month and how you register for it. And it is a free event, but you need to register to reserve your spot. But all that information will come out in another month or so. And I just wanted you to know that I have two speakers lined up. I have Heidi Morale from New Brunswick, who is a regular here on my channel, and she is a brilliant hand quilter. Now, she sells herself too short. She tells me she feels like an imposter doing this. She is not. She is very, very skilled, and so we'll be talking to her about her quilting journey. She'll be showing us some of her beautiful quilts and her workmanship, and talking about hand quilting as well. And my second guest presenter is John from the Art East Quilting Company. And you may know John's patterns because they're all over the internet, extremely popular. And I'm very proud to say that he too is a Canadian from Nova Scotia. So two Eastern Canadians for this show, which makes me very happy. And he's going to be talking about his journey and his business and his creative endeavors. And he makes, and I'm sure you're familiar with the Wizard of Oz quilt, the what's failing me right now? Wizard of Oz. Oh, the Alice in Wonderland, 100 Acre Woods, which is Winnie the Pooh, and goats in pajamas, and I call it blowing up bunnies. I have the pattern, haven't done it yet. It's basically bunnies blowing bubbles from bubblegum. Like, he's got a real sense of humor in his quilts, and it comes out in his characters that he creates. And these are not paper pieced patterns. These are patchwork. A lot of little pieces, believe me. I've done one. I've done one with the cats, which is hilarious because there's scratch marks and everything. Anyways, you gotta love cats to maybe really appreciate that. But and I do. But anyways, I was thrilled. I sent him an email figuring I would get, yeah, thank you very much, but I'm really busy with this, that, and the other thing. No, he said he would love to do it. So I am excited to have both Heidi and John as my guest presenters for that, and I know you're going to love them too. So as I said, more information about registering for the retreat and all the good things that go along with it, like our cocktail party the night before, the prizes that are given out, and the panel discussion, and the show and share, and the victim share. Yes, there's a victim share. Yeah. So you'll want to stay tuned to find out more about that once I get things formalized. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for me today. I hope you have a great week. Tune in to So Chatty on Friday for the first of our series on bag making, in the hoop bag making. And have a great one. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.